Today I'm going to show you some of the best dungeons gear that you're going to need to progress through each of the floors, and we've got this massive giant sword here, but we've also got options for each stage of the game, so hit that subscribe button and let's get straight into the video. So, starting off we've got the strong dragon set. Now this is going to do you for probably entrance and floor 1 at least, and if you can star it, it will go even further. But yeah, this is a pretty decent set to start off with. It will cost a decent amount of coins, so if you want something cheaper, I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, this thing is pretty insane, and it also gives a buff to the aspect at the end, which is very decent. So 75 extra damage on this. I've got an aspect of the dragons here, but what you probably would use is this aspect at the end, 100 damage, 125 strength. So it'll be 175 damage, which is pretty decent to start off with. That should get you easily through floor 1 and onto floor 2. Now, once you've got your catacombs level up a little bit, you might want to move up to the zombie soldier set. But before you do that, I'd suggest you get some rotten armour, because that's only at catacombs 2. If you can't afford the strong dragon armour, go for rotten armour. That's the green one, and it's pretty decent to start off with. It's a very low level dungeon set that can be upgraded easily with undead essence, so that's a good idea to do. But rotten set, you need catacombs 12 maybe, I think, maybe something like 10. And you can pair that with the zombie soldier cutlass or a dreadlord sword if you're a mage or something like that. But yeah, you get a bonus 100% attack speed, so basically think of these stats but double them, and they're pretty decent, and then they'll get more of a dungeons buff than anything like an aspect at the end, unless you star it, but I don't know why you would do that. But yeah, these are pretty decent set, and if you put them on Titanic or something, or if you need crit chance, put them on Fierce, or crit damage I mean. But yeah, they're pretty decent. And then I've got this on legendary, but you could change that to spicy or whatever reforge you have available. And for a ranged weapon, I was going to include a ranged weapon with each stage, but I'm going to go for the first one. It's going to be the magma bow. Now that one is very decent. If you have the magma cream, it does double that damage, so that's pretty insane. And yeah, that's very decent. Paired with a decent damage set, you'll get a good amount of damage with that bow in the early floors. So yeah, that's for an archer, and that's pretty easy to get. It's probably about 200k or something like that, so it's cheaper than this armor set. So yeah, that's for early game. And then moving on to about floor 3 and above, probably we've got the adaptive set, which I think this is pretty decent. So this changes based on which class you go. So if you want tank, you'll get a bunch more health and defense. If you want berserk, you get more strength. And it also comes with the adaptive blade, and I got a spicy one. And I think you can upgrade this stuff with, like, you see that little thing next to the name, that must be some fragments that you can do. But yeah, efficient training, every 5 catacombs level you get 2% extra stats. So if you use this as like a catacombs 50, you would get 20% extra stats, which is pretty decent. And yeah, this thing gives you 35 strength, 200 intelligence, 100 defense if you are that that class. So yeah, 100 crit damage is very nice on the archer, I think, as a base stat. And then obviously you can star all of this, potato bucket, and you can get a decent little thing for, I say this floor 3 and floor 4, this can get you through that pretty decently. With that, I'm going to go for a Soul's Rebound. This is 470 base damage, which is very decent. I don't know if you can star this, probably you can, but if you do that, that's going to make you a very good bow to start with. So yeah, and it also does your arrows mark your enemies with 5 seconds, and then you receive a burst of damage, and yeah, so mark increased by up to 20% damage, so that's pretty decent. And then for floor 5, you're definitely going to need Shadow Assassin, but obviously you can't unlock it till you've done floor 5, so I suggest you just get yourself adaptive and just try and find a good party to try and get yourself floor 5 done. But then after that, you can use a Shadow Assassin gear. So this Shadow Assassin helmet here is 2-star, and it's very decent, this set. The bonuses aren't that good, but it has some good base stats. So you got 285 health, 85 defense. This is very good on the damage, I believe, so 14%, but 39 overall. So that gives you a good amount of damage, I feel like, and it's just as good, just the best thing to go for. If you can't afford the chest plate, I'd suggest you go for a zombie knight or rotten zombie chest plate, because that's very decent to, not rotten, zombie soldier chest plate. because I think that's a very decent one to pair it with. Most people do that for floor 4 or 5 if you're running those. So that's very decent. And then the sword, it's going to be a livid dagger. Now this is quite expensive, but if you can't do that, just stick with whatever sword you were using before. I'd say even something like an Axe of the Dragons could be half decent later on, but probably you will want to upgrade to either an adaptive blade, a livid dagger, something like that, a dungeon sword, because they'll get much extra stats. The great thing about a livid dagger is it has 100% bonus attack speed, so you'll hit twice as much. So if you look at these stats, you basically can double them. I think this is a really, really good weapon, this livid dagger, and you can also throw it, which does a decent bit of damage on top of that. So yeah, that's a very good mid-game option. But yeah, onto the end game. I've got a couple of things, but yeah, this is my armor set here, the Necron set, and also we've got Storm, which is a very good mage set. I just bought this one. So yeah, Witherborn is a good thing that comes with all of these sets. You could go for Goldor, and I suggest a Reaper mask as your helmet if you go for that. That's a good tank set. You got a mage, and Necron is pretty good all round. So yeah, if you get this thing starred and everything like that, it's very, very decent. I haven't got mine all the way starred because it is Wither Essence, which is pretty difficult to get. But yeah, this thing reduces the amount of damage you take from withers by 10%. It's just very, very good. This thing is insane if you want to do floor 7. Floor 6, it will definitely get you through that very easily. And you can basically do any other floor. But yeah, the sword is my main sword. This is the giant sword. It has 520 base damage. I swear it used to have more than that. But yeah, it's a very decent thing. And you get a 5-star on it. Everything like that. I swear it used to be like 1,500 damage. I swear they nerfed this thing. But yeah, 1 for all on it. You could just put the enchants on yourself, but 1 for all is very nice. And you've got your giant slam ability. I really like this thing. So if it will work, I just used it and it didn't show up. But this thing like throws a massive sword, and then it does a ton of damage that is very, very useful in dungeons, especially for like killing bosses or clearing rooms. That's very, very nice. So yeah, it's a pretty good set, and I'm going to wear this one. But yeah, the Storm set you will need to pair with some sort of mage weapon, because otherwise it won't really be that useful. It's slightly worse stats than Necron, but you get intelligence, you get the 400 intelligence just on the helmet. So yeah, that will do you very well if you're using a mage weapon. In terms of mage weapons, there's basically the best one is a Hyperion, but nobody can afford that basically. So I'm trying to think of some, maybe. God, I don't know. I'm not very familiar with the magic weapons, but yeah, a ranged weapon is a boomerang. Boomerang. I mean, I use multiple of these, so they do a good amount of damage, and they've actually gone quite cheap recently. They're only about 4 million coins each when I bought them, but yeah, that does a decent amount of damage, and it deals double damage when it's coming back. I'll show you how this fires. That it goes like that, and then it comes back to you. So yeah, it's a pretty decent weapon, and you can use multiple of them at the same time, so that's very nice. But like that, there you go, and you will do a ton of damage to your enemies. But yeah, where's my chest plate gone? Oh, there you go. It's invisible. There you go. I thought I lost my chest plate for a second there, but yeah, that's going to do it today. So if you did enjoy, please hit that subscribe button, because we're pushing towards 500 subscribers. And yeah, I hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.